new Mage Heroes are coming to Call of Dragons, and the developers have confirmed this at the recent meet in Germany. Now, I think they're coming much sooner than the majority of people expect, and I'll let you know exactly why. So there is no question now, Mage are the next two heroes to come in the game, and one of them is going to be flying, while the other one will not be flying. Now, we don't know a lot about the new heroes, but we do know they're coming soon, and in my opinion, they are going to be coming very, very soon in this season 2.5 that is currently happening. I am almost 100% certain that in season 2.5, which is the season that is just starting now for all servers that started when the game released, and the reason being, one of them is here. If you go into the hero token, basically when you click a token here and you use, obviously you see all the season 1 hero, and if you click here you see all the season 2 heroes, which is set G2, just how you know it's a season 2 hero. Now we know that this spot and this spot are going to be the new infantry that are coming in a few days, and the next two now we know for sure are going to be Mage Heroes. The devs have confirmed it, but the one thing that makes me think they're coming right now in season 2.5 is because they've also talked about season 3 having a new race, new hero, new continent, all that kind of stuff. But this means that the G2 heroes have to be done by the time that season 3 starts. And it is going to be next season as opposed to another 0.5 season from what they have said. We are going to go through one more season, which is 2.5. And then after that season is done, this will be the next season, which will bring basically a G3 here, which will be a brand new branch of maybe 8 heroes again, which means that G2 has to be done. For these tokens, like these are only for season 1 heroes, these are only for season 2 heroes, and then there'll be new ones only for the next season's heroes. So this is why, you know, it's quite obvious here that we will have the 2 mages and that they have to be done before the next season starts. So if I'm not mistaken, I think these cycles repeat 3 times now. At least that's the way it is in Rise of Kingdom, meaning that you will see the same 2 heroes, the same 2 new infantry heroes on the wheel and on the Strongest Lord event 3 times in a row, which is every 2 weeks, meaning that this would be basically a month and a half. It could also be only 2 times, which I've seen before as well in this game, which would mean only a month. So in season 2, we actually had Freyga and Syndrian kind of already at the beginning. I think they appeared like at the end of 1.5. And then Ferondel and Teodoro appeared basically like in the middle or early season 2. And then after that, they brought back the archers. And then we even had one wheel that was like Kinara. So, you know, it's been a weird season in terms of like the same heroes kind of appeared more than they were supposed to. But this makes me think that maybe if 2.5 goes the way it's planned, we would get the 2 infantry heroes right at the beginning, which we are getting right now. And then after that cycle is done, maybe a month and a half in, we would get the 2 Mage Heroes, which would take us to the 2.5-3 months mark, which would take us to, I think, 2 or 3 months cycle. And this would basically mean that the end of the season, we would have Mage Heroes already. And then season 3 would start with a brand new, fresh set of season 3 heroes, which will go back to marksman, cav, and then, you know, infantry and mages again by the end of season 3, maybe 0.5. So this is one of the thing that really makes me certain we'll see Mage Heroes much sooner than people think. Within basically a month and a half or 2 months max, I think we'll have them released in the game and to be played by the end of season 2.5. Basically, by the time we're at Frost Dragon, we should have the new Mage Heroes, if my calculations are correct, and if the game is built in the same way as Rise of Kingdom. And this is what seems to be their plan, as it is their priority right now, as they've said in the interviews, that they really want to release more heroes and do it quickly. So this is, in my opinion, why we're going to see Mage Heroes really soon in season 2.5. Now, another thing the devs confirmed is we will have one of these Mage Heroes be a flying hero. So obviously this makes sense. So far, every branch of 2 heroes we've gotten has had 1 ground and 1 flying, except the infantry, of course. But this obviously makes a lot of sense, being that we currently have Tia as a flying mage hero, and the only other one we have is Aetius, who is an epic hero. And then we obviously would like a new hero to pair with Tia. Obviously is a hero that is not meant to lead an army, but more meant to support an army. So hopefully we get a high damage dealing celestial based hero that will blend well with Tia, that will make an incredibly strong flying march, instead of being, you know, flying march right now are good, but are not as strong as a ground mage march. So this would give us a really good opportunity for that. And then the second hero obviously would go well with Lilia or Velen, depending on what is going to be his build. If it has freeze, if it has fire, or if it's a completely new element that makes a completely different kind of build. They have also said they want to implement things that are different. So for like the infantry, there's a lot of movement speed and counterattack, which hasn't been really seen before. So we could have some completely new things, but for sure one is flying and one is ground. So this is going to be very exciting and add a lot of needed mage marches in the game currently, as there isn't many options when it comes to, you know, what is available and what is best. Now, at this meet and greet in Germany, they also said a few other things that were coming. One of them is a new faction. Now, they didn't say this was coming for season 3. They said this was probably going to be for season 4. But they did say season 3 is going to implement a new race, meaning that a new race would be kind of like the dwarves were in season 2. So the first was like darklings. The second one was dwarf. So the third race will be something new. Obviously, it could be like undead, or it could be like rats, or it could be anything. But this also means that when they create new race, that they have new ways of creating heroes of that race that can join us. So like one of the mage heroes, in my opinion, could definitely be like a dwarf hero, which obviously would fit in the League of Order as well. Or it could be, like for season 3, a lot of the heroes are going to be, new factions and stuff that will eventually become a faction. So there's a lot of stuff like that coming. So obviously look out for that, as it gives you a bit of clues as to what's coming. And then the fourth faction, for sure, they're working on it and it is going to be coming. But from what I can gather from the guy's speech, is most likely not in season 3. One more thing is at the end of season 2, for season 3, they have said that there will be much more of an open migration system. So instead of like this current system, which kind of like leaves you an option of a certain amount of server, as well as kind of match makes you with like a lot of other servers, this will be more like you have a choice and you can kind of go anywhere in the seasons that are currently open. And from what I've understood, some of the beta players can also eventually join up with the other players. So that'll be very interesting to see. That will be at the end of this season. And there are also very big events and like spending bundles and stuff like that, like we see in Rise of Kingdom, where there's a big event, there's bundle that go with it, and there is things you can spend gems on in the event and get massive rewards, stuff like more than gem. All of that is also being worked on right now. So be on the lookout for that as well for the season. Obviously, they're adding a lot of stuff to this game, and new heroes is currently their priority, but there's a lot coming. They can use a lot of Rise of Kingdom stuff to make it faster. So we'll see a lot of big changes. Already, we've seen massive changes with the season with the No Resurgence leveling to 60, the Spires, the Tower, which are absolutely OP, by the way. So obviously a lot of stuff changing, a lot of stuff coming. So make sure to subscribe, stay tuned. I'll try to bring you the best and most accurate content as soon as I get it. And obviously being on a new server, which has, the biggest alliance in the game, the Freak Show, as well as Nephisto's alliance and many other people. This is going to be a very fun season with a lot of war. So make sure to stay tuned for that. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you on the next video.